First of all, pharmacology in itself I find so interesting still after all these years because it's a big puzzle, right? We have the problem of the illness, this is how the medication solves it, but it doesn't work for everybody. So inspiring people to see that in the same way. Another thing that I often think about a lot in my teaching, and I say this to the first year students when I start, when you come in as a nurse, you don't think of yourself as a scientist, but you are, you're learning a lot of science. So part of what I'm doing with you, I spoke to the first year class at an opening thing this year, was I want to get you to embrace your inner science geek and not be afraid of that, right? Because it's so exciting to learn these new things and you'll have to keep learning it. It's all clinical pharmacology here in the nursing department. So it's about the application of using medications. So the goal that I'm doing for most of the courses I'm teaching is working with students to try and help them be effective nurses and be able to safely and effectively use medications in patients when they're out in practice. My approach to teaching has certainly changed a lot over the years I've done it, but my main approach to teaching at this point is I really work very hard to reach each student in some way that connects with them. So I've gone away, for example, I still do big group lectures, but I record all my lectures because it's not about whether someone is there in front of me in the lecture theater anymore. It's about whether they can learn when they're able to take the time to learn. We have a lot of students who commute. We have students who have families and are doing this in different times. So they can't necessarily fit within our time. So that's an example of how I want my work that I'm doing to prepare for them to learn to be available for them whenever they can. So I webcast all of my big lectures. My other approach that I stay firmly attached to is I take those big groups and I divide them into smaller groups so that we can sit down together and apply what we're learning. So we do once a week we'll meet together, or once every other week in small groups between 8 to 12 people, and we'll talk about a case. In my cases that we do, I will do a webcast beforehand that they use for preparation. This is what we call the flipped classroom approach. So I like to use that a lot. I'll do a lecture about a medication, leave it a webcast for them, and then we'll do a case study discussion about that medication. So they do that preparation about the basics. What is the drug? How does it work? What are the problems? And then we bring it to life with a paper patient. I love the fact that at Trent, I can do the big things in the classroom and the webcast and all these things, but then I can also have my groups that are very small where we can do important work as well. So it's a great place to be able to do that. But just really what I love about that, it's different all the time because the students are always different. Sure, it's sometimes the same material, but my approach is different every term, depending who's there, and because it's always changing. And because I have the opportunity to keep learning every single day from my students, from what I have to do to keep one step ahead of them, from everything that happens. I love to learn. Who gets paid to learn? It's the greatest job in the world.